I have been referred to as Columbia in my lifetime. You might remember me. I've seen it. And darling, I am sleeping my way around the US of A and Canada all through October on this fabulous tour de force set. You've got to come and see me, okay?
Hi, I'm Patricia Quinn, and I'm going on a very exciting tour of Q&A with Patricia Quinn. I don't know where I'm going. So many places. I've got 15 states that I'm going to. And I was so shocked. I thought, how many states are there in America? And someone said there's 50. And I thought, but that means we must have done them all by now, because Barry's been doing it for 3 or 4 years. And my friend said to me, but Pat, there are different cities in the states. I said, oh.
Hi, I'm Brad Majors. Come see me on tour somewhere. I don't know where I'm going to be, but damn it, Janet, I'll be there.
Well, first of all, I am thrilled to be sitting with the three of you. I have the fondest memories of going to the A Street Playhouse for one of the midnight screenings of Rocky Horror and having the best time. You're each about to embark on the 49th anniversary tour. How excited are you all?
Well, it's amazing. I did this tour last year, and I thought I knew everything there was to know about Rocky Horror because I've done a million Comic Cons, I've met a million fans or whatever. I knew nothing. Because it was beyond belief, the fandom I found on the road. And I've been overwhelmed by it. It was wonderful. And Nell and I did a program once on television, and the woman, she and I were doing a Comic-Con, and we were on TV, and the interviewer said to Nell, do you never get tired of doing these Comic-Cons? And Nell said, well, it's very nice to be worshipped. And the woman said, oh, I could do with a bit of that. And Nell said, get a dog. And being a wonderful American who didn't get the irony of that, the woman said, oh, I'd love a dog. But I found out it's wonderful to be worshipped.
Darling, you've been worshipped for as long as I've known you, darling.
I haven't noticed.
Yes, you
No,
have.
it was this time last year on this road trip. It was beyond belief joyous. Yeah. And it was every day flight, plane, theatre, plane, theatre, plane, theatre. And at first I thought, I can't keep up with this, it's exhausting. But being worshipped was so wonderful that I said, when's the next plane? When's the next plane? You know, it was amazing.
You know, I think we just throw a party every night, you know, at these venues, and you know, we have meet and greets, we have costume contests, and we do virgin ceremonies, and then Q&As.
Yeah, you're really good at the virgin ceremonies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you take the virginity.
I do. I take.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've done quite a bit of that since the '60s, actually. I think. But. Yeah, so, and then with the shadow cast, and then the theater, and then the showing, and all of the callbacks. You were probably part of those original callbacks.
That's when they were witty, and there was less of them, and you
Yeah.
could follow the film and have the wit of the callbacks, yeah.
Do you remember any of them, any of the callbacks?
I just remember going there and just getting in the line like 2 hours early and just meeting all these incredible people who were all dressed up as all the characters. And it was like this subculture world. And it was so great.
Did you ever dress up?
Yeah.
Because I can see you as a Frank, actually.
I'd like to do all of you next. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd like to, like, you know, go back, but
Well, you're a blank canvas, darling. You could do all of us.
Yes, but
I've
the
done
thing
all
is,
of them.
We were sitting in London.
He's done all of us. So
I've
why
done them
shouldn't
all.
you?
I've done them all.
We were in London, and Sal Pira, I think it was, invited myself and Richard O'Brien. Suddenly we were told in London, you know, people are talking to your film. We said, what? You nuts? What are you talking about? And they said, yeah, and they're dressing up as you. And we thought, what could that possibly be? You know,
Yeah.
it'd be unheard of. And so Richard and I got on the plane together from London to come to New York to go to the 8th Street, or was it the Waverley, one of them, and saw this vision of what was going on and thought, this is beyond crazy. And it was quite small at the time. It was like, my dear friend Robin Lipner is the first magenta ever at the, is it the 8th Street? Where was it first?
8th Street?
A
The
Street,
first one.
And
The 8th
Dory
Street.
was
And
the
Dory
first.
Hartley, her
Yeah.
chum, and the two of them were art students at the time, and they went to it. And she dressed as magenta. I just had dinner with her last night, so I'm out with my first fan ever. She's remained my friend all this time. And Dory, who's been asked to do lots of shows with us because she's equal to Tim Curry in her singing and acting of the part. Extraordinary. So this was a big eye-opener for us. We thought, goodness, this is bonkers.
But it'll never catch on. No one thought that was catching on.
No.
So I was going to ask you, what did the film mean to you then when you made it, and what does it mean to you today?
Nothing.
Nothing, really?
Nothing.
Has it done anything for your career?
It's such a good question. Yeah. It's done fuck all for my career.
But it's true, because mine, it's such a one-off, this movie.
It's done nothing for my career, but for my spirit and my soul,
Yeah.
it is the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
Because beginning as such a tiny, tiny show in London at the theatre, a 60-seat theatre, we would just play for 3 weeks, and it was £18 a week. That 50 years later, because actually 51 years later from when the show opened, the joy and pleasure and what it's meant to the LGBTQ plus community is just incredible. And we're on to our 3rd generation, I think 4th generation of fans now. So I get 18-year-old, or the parents of 18 saying, contacting me to make a cameo. They'll go, Nell, she's going through a difficult time and she's a bit confused. Could you, talk to her? So that's how young you're her favorite actress. I get that. Tell that to my agent. But so it's just.
You also have a one-woman show now. That
I do a one-woman show called All's Nil It Ends Nil, which is about Rocky Horror, and my nightclub, my New York nightclub I had in the late 80s and 90s, Nels, and so it is just so enriching, and the pleasure it gives me, and I'm sure the others, anyone to do with Rocky Horror, that it has given so much to so many and continues to.
Barry, for you,
what
it meant to you then and what it means to you now. I mean,
then
49 years later.
Then it was 5 weeks of hell. It was cold and miserable and wet, and every time the guy came up to me with the spray thing, I just wanted to kill him.
Wait there, what did you say? What's that?
No, that's the spray thing.
Well, you're not doing a spray gesture. You didn't need any extra help in that department.
Sorry, what was the spray for?
No, just because we were wet the whole time, Susan and I, right? And we
Where
walk
are
in
they?
the door and they'd say, well, they're dry, you can't be dry.
Yeah, they had to come in from the rain, and then we were in the swimming pool. I mean, there was a lot of wet.
You were never
I had
wet.
nothing to do with wet.
No, you weren't wet. Except when we walked on the set, then you got a little wet, right?
No, she didn't.
She didn't, did she?
No, she
She
didn't.
never liked me, did she? She never liked me.
That is one of the lines in the show.
But I thought he was Brad.
I know you did.
He still is.
I was
is
Brad.
He Brad? He is
I
Brad.
was Brad. I didn't talk
Such
to
a good
anybody.
actor. It's him.
No acting required.
No, that's true.
He's marvelous with the fans. Marvelous.
Let's talk about the fans. I mean, you've all been on the road with this before.
Yeah.
What's it
I've
like?
not been on the road with this before.
This is your first.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to meeting all of you wherever the hell you are, and wherever the hell I'm going, because I don't know. Except I open in Niagara Falls this coming Saturday, and part of the show is that after the show I am in fact going over the falls.
I've been over the falls. I sat in a helicopter next to the pilot.
Oh, no, honey. I'm going to be in a barrel going over them falls.
Quite.
But Barry, meeting the fans, talk about like just over the past few years doing this.
They're much more engaging, aren't they? Really. And they're both going out in separate theaters. We can't do anything together anymore, the three of us, because first of all, I can't get a word in. But
That's me.
What? Oh, Jesus.
Carry on, Barry.
What does it mean to me? It means that I think at my age to be able to communicate with this new generation and to see them and talk to them and
Sleep with them.
Sorry.
No.
No.
I forgot that this
No, I
is the
don't. God.
political correct generation of life.
This is not.
Sorry.
When a 10-year-old comes up to me and goes, Rocky Horror Picture Show is my favorite movie. Yeah, and I go, how many movies have you seen? You're only 10 years old,
That's not the point.
What's the point?
The point is for a 10-year-old to decide already that that's his favorite film. That is very avant-garde. That is very forward-thinking, modern, fantastic, and great parenting that they have encouraged their son to watch it. I would also like to make this announcement that there is I would say maybe at 6 months to a year is when you should start showing your child Rocky Horror Show.
Well, excuse me, 6 months to a year old?
Yeah.
I mean,
because there's a lot of colour and movement, to quote Barry Humphries or Dame Edna, and anything that they don't understand just goes over their head, and it's just so much fun.
Yeah.
And it gives them a broad horizon of what different people are like.
But it's amazing. You go to these theaters, and all of a sudden, the lights come up. There's a light over at the Frankenstein. Everybody has a light. They can't use lighters anymore because apparently they were lighting
Flammable.
They were like lighting theaters on fire and stuff back in the 80s. So now you have to
Gosh, we were burning down theaters. Exciting.
What is one of your favorite memories? I know you said it was 5 weeks, because no one knew what this movie was going to be. Like you said, it was a low-budget film when it was done.
Right.
What are some of your favorite memories of working on the film?
Oh, well, I do know that every moment that I was in front of the camera was so precious. I'd never been in a movie before, and so I just couldn't believe, Pat and I were often doing everything together, and it would be so thrilling that we'd, be doing, an accident or whatever it was when Rocky's being born. And then naturally my big moment was the time warp and leaping down from that jukebox in slippery shoes onto a slippery floor and tapped out. I mean, I was petrified out of my mind and terrified I'd get my routine wrong because we only ever had one take on anything, like one take in one direction. In that instance, they did also in another direction, I think. But anyway, the whole thing was thrilling, yet terrifying, but at the same time I was comfortable in the role, but terrified about being in a film for the first time. I didn't want to overact.
Pat, for you, one of your favorite memories of working on the film?
Well, it was Jim Sharman never really told us what was happening next. And of course I'd done the stage show, but some of the things weren't in the stage show. So then we had the dinner scene, and Brian Thompson, who was the amazing designer, and so he had this dinner table set with, because we came from Transylvania and we didn't know how to set a dinner table, so we had 50 forks and 50 knives and pee bottles from hospitals and blah blah blah, because we didn't know, we'd never given a dinner party before. So, I mean, Magenta was not a maid. People think she was, but honestly, she wasn't. And
she was a domestic. Your build as a domestic.
Just keep telling yourself
the
that.
Point was,
just keep telling yourself.
The point was, then Jim Sharman told Tim Curry, he said, I want you to pull the tablecloth off, but he said, try and do it as like a trick, like, as fast as you can, so we haven't time to reset that whole table, because the budget was zilch and there was no time to do anything. So Tim did this amazing thing. How he did it, I'll never know, but he pulled the tablecloth off, and underneath it was meatloaf.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that. None of us were told that. Nobody knew what was under that tablecloth. And
corpse of Eddie.
And so Pat Quinn had hysterics. I was laughing non-stop. And Richard O'Brien said, shut up to me, to Pat. And it was like, it's in the film still, it's like, because I didn't know there was a body under there. I didn't know we were eating meatloaf. But I'll tell you, I was in Cape Town in South Africa, and I heard that the film's been banned in South Africa, and I thought, oh, really? And they said, and it's been banned in Germany for cannibalism. I said, really? I said, this is great. We're going to be a hit. I knew it.
Well, you're each about to embark on over 50 cities in the U.S. and Canada. I mean, how exciting is that, seriously, to meet all the new generations of fans and just to watch how the movie plays again?
Cannot wait. I'm thrilled. Can't wait to meet everyone.
Yeah, I'm just waiting. You know, it just keeps going and going and going, and we are hopefully be responsible for the next generation in some way. You know, because the many of them, their great grandmothers, you know, went to the theater and stripped down and sang "Touch It, Touch It, Touch Me," you know, and I like to remind them that their great grandmother was a slut.
Oh yes, I remember during the rehearsals of Rocky Horror upstairs at the Royal Court, and it was Jim Sharman would say to Richard, because it was hardly written, the script, and the songs weren't written, and he said, I want another song for Janet. So Richard went home that night and came back, and Julie Covington playing the role, and he was told him, this song is touch it, touch it, touch me, I want to be dirty. And she said, I'm not singing that, that's disgusting. I said, I absolutely agree, not doing that.
We all loved it.
Yes, but not at the time.
No, we did love it at the time. I've talked about it with Jim. And he said he really had to talk, he and Jim, Richard O'Brien had to really coax her into singing it. It's a fabulous song.
Have the best time on the road,
Thank
seriously.
you very, very much.
I'm going to try to embark. I'm going to see you at the Kings, I think. I'm going to try to catch the two of you at another gorgeous theater across the United States, too.
Well, thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
helping us along with this.